Hopefully they're doing it, because right now we're looking at every 39 seconds some web server is getting hacked. Is usually either SQL injection, social engineering, and the two biggest ones are DDoS and ransomware that's going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
So, but if people actually get these an additional layer, which again academia does not talk about, okay, they get an additional layer, which is your load balancer, and you apply these security settings to them with especially the certificates, doing these certificates in there, so you can do mutual authentication, all these different things where it's asynchronous, and you have your PKI type infrastructure that's going on. That would be something that's very important for security, because now you got to, because I don't call it, just so you know, I don't call it cybersecurity. I call it cyber deterrence. Is how much things can you put in between you and the internet, right? For them to come in. And when it comes to application web servers, like this dating site that just got hacked because of not doing their due diligence and not using any, if they bought a firewall, they should have didn't use it. And that's the whole thing. So adding an extra layer with load balancers, and I hate calling it now what I know, that it's load master. It's not just a load balancer. It's like you're diminishing the product,
Right. Or like they call it an ADC, right? An application delivery controller is really what the terminology is these days when we're kind of talking about the product as a whole. And so it's definitely an ADC these days. But, we can interchange it back and forth. Load balancer, ADC. I think everyone understands what
I know they understand. They understand. Yeah. But so, I don't want to diminish the product from what it is, because it started off that way, but now it's just much more. So an ADC would definitely help secure, and that's a big thing right now. You're absolutely correct, because according to the IC3.gov, phishing or business emails compromise is one of the biggest things. So people usually put the email servers out there in front of their firewalls, okay, which is kind of crazy, but it's a filter. So they put it out there. It would be nice that you have load balancers right there along with them, all right, to be able to do that. But your application servers, and there's so many sites out there that have these different types of applications that we use, whether you're a coder, whether you're just using for whatever it is. Okay, these are applications that we access on a daily basis, that they need to not only to be secure, but to be available, right? The CIA triad. We need that availability to be able to get there, and the availability to the people that we're able to authenticate to it, which this also presents itself. So definitely this is a product that we would actually need just for security, just not only the high availability, but just the security alone, plus other things that it does. Like, what do I got here?
But we're talking about the when you go back one, right, on that video where we're talking about the pre-authentication, which is another that tied to that security, right? Forcing the authentication of the user at the load balancer before that traffic is even sent back to those application servers, which again is that another layer of security within the load balancer itself. We integrate with, if you're running Active Directory or even running in the cloud, right? Azure Intra, right? Azure Active Directory Intra, whatever you want to call it these days. You can integrate with that, right, to do the pre-authentication. So when the user is providing their username and password, we're validating that within those. And you can also use Radius, or you can multi-factor authentication, all kinds of different protocols that are used to authenticate for that identity provider that's going to be leveraged as part of the load balancer. But again, the configuration of all that, very simple.